Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. What would you do if you find out that your two elder daughters are not yours and your wife's secret of another relationship of 4 years finally comes to light? Could you forgive and forget such a betrayal? Let's find out all about it in today's story. Also, if you like what I do, please give this video a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel.
We are both 51 and have been married for 33 years. We have 3 adult children, daughters 29 and 26, and a son 22. My wife and I have had a very normal loving marriage for 33 years. Actually, 33 as of next month. Sure, we've had ups and downs over the years like any long-term relationship, but we don't go to bed mad, and we're each other's best friends. I make romantic gestures like love letters, texts, emails, and surprise date nights to do something fun. Intimacy every week, usually Saturday and Sunday. Overall, we had a happy home. Quick background on me. I had a single mom and do not know my biological father. My mother kept every detail of him a secret and took that secret to the grave. This year for my birthday, one of my children bought me a DNA test from Ancestry. They said we could maybe discover something about my biological father. Before I took it, all the kids decided they wanted to take one too, since their bloodline also comes from my unknown father.
When they got their test results, they were bizarre to say the least.
I'm sure some of you have guessed, but my oldest 2 children are not mine. We each got our results separately, but the kids had been talking among themselves before they shared it with us, so they asked if we could do a family dinner at our house, and they all came over. Dinner was fine, but they wanted to talk to us about something. Then the bombshell. They said they compared results and that the oldest 2 children are not mine, the youngest is. They asked if we had anything to tell them. I said, of course not, there has to be a mistake. I looked over at my wife, and she had a look of terror on her face like I've never seen before. At once, this calm, level-headed, wonderful woman I've been married to for 33 years screamed out some kind of nonsense, then ran for the bedroom and locked the door.
They all tried to get her to come out, but to no avail.
We're all freaking out at this point. She immediately texts our phones and asks that we all leave her alone for a couple of hours to compose herself and then reconvene at the table and she'll join us. We did as she requested, but I'll tell you what, that 2 hours felt like a lifetime and my brain was on overload as to what the H was going on. I still figured this had to be some kind of mistake. Of course the girls were mine. Who else's would they be? She comes out at about the 2-hour mark and asks the kids if they could please go and that she needed to talk to me alone and that she'd be sure to let them know what's going on as soon as she can. They respected her request and left saying they'll be back if they don't hear something soon. I'm sitting there just blown away at this point, like this isn't real. Like I'm watching a movie except that I'm in the movie. She then tells me something that has caused permanent change in me.
She looked OP straight in the eyes and confessed to everything.
I had a relationship many years ago. It was with one of our neighbors and friends from the same social circle at the time. It went on for about 4 years until I wised up and realized what a wonderful husband I had and that I needed to grow up and stop acting stupid. Then she put her hands on my cheeks to pull me in and, still looking in my eyes, said, "You are my everything. I am your girl for life. I love you with all my heart. I did a very stupid and selfish thing many years ago. You did nothing wrong. You've been the best husband any woman could ever ask for, and I hope we try to put this in perspective and recognize what a wonderful life we've had together, and that we don't want this stupid, hurtful mistake to ruin it." She then said she'd do whatever I wanted, answer any questions, leave if I ask, but kept assuring me that I'm her everything, and that once she realized how stupid she was being, she never even once thought about cheating on me for a second since it ended. That man is no longer alive. They didn't love each other, but had convinced themselves that this physical outlet from their marriages made them better spouses.
What devastates OP is that his daughters are not his biological children.
They want to know details about this man since he's their real father, and that breaks me. They both assure me that I'm their father and they love me with all their hearts, but we all know I'm not their father. It's also worth noting that until this DNA test, my wife also never knew for sure. What devastates me is that the woman I held in the highest regard as far as love, respect, esteem, etc., carried on an affair for years. The woman that has loved me and honored me for decades also betrayed me. What devastates me is the question, was my whole adult life to this point a lie? Was my entire marriage a lie? Is nothing real in this world? She has been an amazing wife and partner. I've had zero complaints my entire marriage, even when she was cheating.
This other man died a few years ago of cancer, so OP can't go and talk to him man to man and possibly punch his lights out.
I was her first and only. I had one previous teenage awkward quick one in the backseat of a car with a former girlfriend before my wife, and that was it for me. Now I find out she was sleeping with this man for years. How can I get over that? This all happened pretty recently. Next month is our 33rd anniversary, and I just don't know what to do. I asked her to leave, and she has been staying with her sister and her husband. She is absolutely devastated. So am I. Everyone says that I've had an amazing life with my wife. She's a great wife and mother. She made a horrible mistake when she was very young, and to not let this ruin us. I get that over and over, and logically, I know that's all true, but my heart right now is not being logical.
OP was really happy with his life. He loved his wife and children with all his heart.
Can I ever get back to that state, or has this revelation permanently altered the course of my life? If I can't forgive her and forget this, then what am I going to do? I have no interest in living a different life than what we've had. I'm not that fond of the world anyway, except for my family. I'm still numb and in shock. I'm going to take some time to wear off before I consider my future. I've talked to my sister-in-law, and she said my wife is a blubbering mess, telling her she always knew this was going to come back to haunt her and that she had tried so hard over the years to make up for what she had done. They're trying to get her to go to a shrink, the same as my friends and family are trying to do for me. I've had a great life to this point. I have zero interest in any other life. A new life, a changed life, whatever. That doesn't appeal to me. I have to figure out if there is a path back to the life I had built with my wife and family.
OP asked his wife to come back home about 10 days later.
Our 33rd wedding anniversary is tomorrow. I've confided in a few people, but don't really have a close confidant. My wife has served that role for the last 33 years. The relationship is different with my daughters and I. We all proclaim our love, and I'm still their dad, but it seems like we're trying to convince ourselves of that. It's still different now, and I don't know if I can ever be the same. It's a silly ancestry DNA test that revealed my wife's secret. She was going to take this secret to her grave. This has haunted her for decades. She knew what she was risking, and once it was over, the fog cleared. She knew how selfish and immature she had been. She was daddy's girl and very spoiled when we first got together.
The other man's family has been informed. The daughters and OP felt that since they are in his bloodline, his family should know.
Needless to say, there are some very shocked people on their side too. My daughters have been introduced to some half-siblings they never knew they had. They're good girls and constantly shower me with, "I love my papa," and I do appreciate it, but it's not the same. They aren't my flesh and blood. Wife's crushed that this has caught up with her and was willing to accept and internalize the guilt and shame as her punishment for what she did. She was an amazing wife and mother that absolutely did deserve a good husband. My two daughters that were the apples of my eye aren't my children. Now that I reflect back on those things my wife said, I know it was her guilt that she had done such a horrible thing, but still had a good family life.
The wife has offered to do anything OP asks and is doing all kinds of research on what to expect and how to help heal the family.
She can barely look our children in the eye. They held her in very high regard. We all did. I can see the pain, not just the pain of getting caught and how it affects her, but the pain of true remorse and knowing what she has done to us. We have started talking about the relationship. It's tough because we both break down emotionally. Both of our hearts are broken. Anyway, we got married young, 19 years old. We had our first child at 21. We became husband and wife and mom and dad very young, and that's who we were. She was always a great mother and wife. She says she was still so young and very spoiled, selfish, had a sense of entitlement, and had some resentment that she was so off the market at 21 as a wife and mother, even though all her friends were still out there getting all kinds of attention from guys. Something she felt she had cheated herself out of, but didn't regret marrying me that young because she loved me with all her heart and didn't want to lose me.
The wife said neither one of them ever even once talked about leaving their families to be together.
They were each other's escape from routine family life. She tells me that she knows her words don't mean anything, and that she's a liar that did a horrible thing, but that if I'm to really listen to anything, then I need to know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that her heart has only ever belonged to one person in her life and still does, and that's me. She said she has never regretted being my wife and mother to our kids, and that it has been the joy of her life. She says there is no way she can magically fix this, and if she could go back in time and talk to her younger self, she'd tell her, don't do this horrible thing. What you think is harmless could ruin your life. She keeps telling me it was stupid. It was 100% her fault. She was stupid, selfish, immature, and did a horrible thing to me and our family. She said I didn't deserve it, and if I can't be married to her anymore, she would understand and only wants what is best for me. She said whether we stay married or not, that she will love only me until her last breath. She had some very meaningful talks with her sister when she was staying with them, and her sister told her that she was a huge spoiled brat back then, that she's seen her grown into a wonderful woman over the years, but it was time to face the music.
Yesterday, the wife asked if OP even want to acknowledge their anniversary.
She said she'd like to do something nice for me if I would allow it, but she totally understands if I don't want to recognize it. I said, don't be silly, we're going to our favorite Mexican restaurant like we have done for years. We still made it to 33 years. We just have new life challenges to figure out, which we will. That brought a short and quick smile to her face and then made her cry. Sob uncontrollably is more like it. She does that a lot these days. Her sister has told her to knock that off, which she's trying to do.
Now, here is a short update.
I traded my old Camry for a 2018 Camaro ZL1. My wife was happy for me. I love this car. That's not the news, though. This morning, I was in a meeting at work, and about 30 minutes later, I had an overwhelming urge to leave. I got up and walked out. I got in my car and left. I started driving west. I've been gone for a few hours, and I'm a couple 100 miles out. I'm heading for California. I've always wanted to live there, but life didn't make that doable. I haven't left my wife. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I love this car, and I'm going to California, and I feel awesome. I haven't felt this good in a long time. I don't feel like I'm going crazy. On the contrary, I feel inexplicably coherent and lucid right now. All I know is I'm going to San Diego. 2,275 miles to go.
We have the final update coming up, but before that, if you like what you heard so far, please give this video a thumbs up so this story will reach more and more beautiful people like you around the world. Now, here is the final update.
There have been so many changes in my life in the last few months. In a way, I don't even remember who I was or what I felt like before this happened. It's like I do remember, but it seems so long ago. I'm a different person now, and I don't think I can ever go back to who I was. Anyway, of course I traveled back home. I had a blast in California. I met a lot of interesting people and talked to some very pretty women around my age. I was able to really let go of this crazy situation for a while and exist as a different person. I called my boss and was able to take leave. I still have the Camaro. It's sitting outside my office right now. I love that car, and I drive it too fast everywhere I go.
OP says he realized that he hates his career. He thought he loved it before, but now thinks that he loved the life it provided to his family.
I'm planning my exit strategy. I have a great retirement account. Even if I have to surrender half to my wife, if it comes to that, I'll still be fine. I'm thinking of opening a bar or diner in a very hip part of town. That's just an idea. As for my wife, I'm back home, but I don't act husbandly with her. I'm not mean to her, and we are currently still married, but I just don't care. I've lost my ability to care about her like a husband cares for a wife, and I can't get it back. I do whatever I want, when I want, and check with no one. She tries to let me know her comings and goings, but I tell her that's not necessary. I think something she valued in our lives is how much respect I had for her. I had more respect for my wife than any other human being I've ever had in my life.
Now, OP feels no respect for his wife at all. It's like she erased the biggest and the best thing that had happened in his life up to this point, his marriage.
Of course, everyone gives me advice. Don't ruin the best thing in your life because of a stupid mistake she made so long ago. She's been an amazing wife and mother. You have to give her credit for that. To be honest, I don't know what the future holds, and right now, I don't care. It's pleasant at the house. I've moved to the finished basement and come and go as I please. My wife doesn't bother me or pressure me. I think she's just thankful that I'm still here. I think she thinks that as long as I'm still at home and haven't filed for divorce, that we may come through this. I have no answer to that, and that doesn't bother me at all. When the answer or the path forward becomes clear to me, then I'll act. But two things I know for sure. I'm not going to rush myself. I'm going to live for me and do whatever I want to do. No one will influence whatever I do in the future but me. Of course, I love my daughters, and the relationship with all the kids is still solid. None of this was any of their fault. I just joke with them now that I had counted on one of them to give me a kidney if I needed one, but I guess only my son can do that. I'd love to say nothing has changed between us, but I'd be lying. It feels different for all of us. It'll never be how it was, but we'll figure it out. I do feel much better these days, just very different.
End of the story. Well, OP, she had her fun. Now it's time for you to spread your wings. Enjoy the things that you were not able to do due to having to provide and support everyone. Don't let the others tell you how to feel. Believe and trust yourself when you proceed with your bar plan. It won't be easy, but hopefully you will achieve your goal. When you're ready, you will know what to do in terms of your wife and your marriage. But all of that can wait. Enjoy your life. I hope you have a great relationship with your daughters. Good luck. Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.